I'm Tom Crann in the Twin Cities. It's All Things Considered from MPR News. President Donald Trump is in a back and forth with Harvard University that amounts to over $2 billion in federal funding. It's part of Trump's attempts to exercise more ideological control over Harvard and other universities. Harvard sued the president last week over his threats to cut the funding, but some of the university's big donors are pushing for Harvard to back down and negotiate with Trump. Well, today there's news that a Minnesota foundation has announced it will give $1 million to the Harvard Kennedy School Center for Public Leadership. Bill George is the founder of the George Family Foundation and a former CEO and chairman of Medtronic, and it's his foundation that'll be making the gift. Bill George, good to speak with you.
Thanks, Sam. Good to be here.
So I'm wondering, why now? Does the timing of this gift have any connection to the news we've been hearing about Harvard, the cutting of billions of dollars in federal funding or freezing it from the Trump administration?
It does indeed. We felt it was important to make a statement of support for the work of the Harvard Kennedy School. In particular, they're turning out public leaders that are very much needed at the federal, state, and local levels. We've had this program going for some 18 years now, and we've had, including this grant, we'll have 330 fellows that have become part of it, and many have gone on to Congress and other key roles.
Specifically, this $1 million you're announcing today, what do you hope that money will be used for? Is it a new part of the program?
Well, $10,000 a year goes to each of the fellows.
Okay.
This year we have 14 fellows where they can have a chance to study True North leadership, visit places like West Virginia to understand the challenges being faced there, or New Orleans when they had Katrina, and frankly meet in Washington with a number of public leaders. The totality of the group has, I think, a major impact. It will have a greater impact as the years go on.
And tell me more about that impact you imagine from a gift like this.
We need in our society unity between the public and private sectors and elected officials. And we'd like to encourage more of these great leaders to go into public service, like Seth Moulton, who's been was a Marine, and then he went to Harvard, and then he's a congressman now from Massachusetts.
Right.
Morris Sullivan, who's running from New Hampshire. We feel we encourage more public leaders to take on running for elected office.
You yourself were a professor of management and a senior fellow teaching leadership at Harvard from 2004 to 2022. Do I have that right? That's a good long stint at Harvard.
And I'm still teaching as an executive fellow now.
So because of that long association, I want to ask you about this controversy we're reading about that amounts to at least $2 billion frozen in federal funds. Harvard's feeling pressured to give in to the president's demands that he made. First of all, what do you make of the controversy?
The controversy started on anti-Semitism. And look, would not condone anti-Semitism or anyone being against people of any faith, Muslim, Buddhist, Christian, Jewish, or no religion at all. And so Harvard is taking care of that problem. But Tom, 90% of the money coming out is coming out of medical research. And Harvard, as you know, is one of the leading recipients of NIH grants. And a lot of life-saving therapies in research right now, like ALS, like pancreatic cancer, Alzheimer's, breakthrough research. And I learned at Medtronic, Tom, that you can't stop and start research. I think it's really a horrible mistake to do this. This has nothing to do with the so-called concerns about anti-Semitism.
Now, does it put a greater onus on you as a philanthropist? Do you feel a greater responsibility now to step in, and might we see this happening more widely from others as well?
My wife Penny and I definitely feel a responsibility to step in. That's why we accelerated this funding. Look, $1 million is not going to make up for a $2 billion or $3 billion loss. But I hope the truly wealthy people, the billionaires, will step up and substitute federal funding with their own philanthropy. I think this is critical, not into endowment, but for current use funds. And we've always done current use funds because we want to have the real impact on students, on research, on faculty right now. I hope others will step up to this, not just in that community, but in this community as well.
Bill George is the founder, along with his wife Penny, of the George Family Foundation and a former CEO and chairman of Medtronic. Always good speaking with you. I wanted to thank you for taking the time today.
Thank you, Tom. Great to be back with you.